Hello everybody and welcome back to another Doctor Who action figure review. Today I'm going to be looking at the Richard Hurdnall First Doctor figure with the Death Zone Dalek, and I'm going to be talking quite a lot about them. I know in my last review with the Davros and Genesis Dalek that I said I would be doing a review on the Destiny Daleks review, which I also did a teaser for, and I've also meant to do the Bradley TARDIS, which is just back here actually behind this picture of David Tennant and me, which I will show you. There it is, and it's just quite literally right here behind that. But unfortunately I have come to say that I will not be doing the Destiny set or the Genesis set, the second Genesis set, with just the two Daleks, because both sets are basically just Daleks, and I feel like I don't need to. Some stuff happened, and obviously I've been using that time to be a tiny bit more productive in my life and things like that, but I feel like I don't need to. There's enough reviews out of them on YouTube out there of them, so if you're interested in those, just go and look on YouTube. Matthew Tofola does a load of them. Six Sec will have done them as well. So there is literally no need for me to do the Dalek sets. I will probably do one on the TARDIS, but as it stands, I won't be doing the Dalek sets, only because they have been done so many times, and they're almost, a year old now. So it's come to that point where I'm thinking, no, it's not going to happen because of that. I'll still be doing the Bradley TARDIS, and that's only because it is based on entirely new stuff. I just haven't found the time to actually do that yet. So I will be doing that. I'll be doing the Sixth Doctor's TARDIS as well, and I will probably do the Necros Dalek, and there's a reason why I say that, even though it is just the Daleks as normal. So as you can see already, we have the Death Zone Dalek looking a lot more accurate than its Resurrection counterpart. Now the thing is, I don't have any Resurrection drone Daleks to show off. This is, in fact, probably one of my first Peter Davison Daleks that isn't a Supreme Dalek. I do have the Supreme Dalek and the Davros from Resurrection, but I don't have any of the regular Daleks, and this is the first one I've ever got from Peter Davison's era that is a drone Dalek, so that is really nice to see. And also Richard Hurdnall's First Doctor. I'm excited to show you this because this, as much as it is more or less William Hartnell dressed like Richard Hurdnall's Doctor, or painted to look like Richard Hurdnall's Doctor, it does have a new sculpted head. So I will get into both of those, and I think we're going to start with Richard Hurdnall and save the Dalek for last, because I'm excited to more or less bang on about the Dalek. So if I put him there, Richard Hurdnall's First Doctor. There isn't much change in terms of the sculpt of the body, but the head that they've created for this is superb. It is fantastic. It looks exactly like Richard Hurdnall. I would have liked him smiling, or having, like, sort of, not grinning exactly, but, just having the corner of his mouth curved up to, indicate him smiling, because that's what he looked like for most of the episode. He was quite a smiley Doctor. That was when he found Peter Davison's Doctor, and you can see that scene of him eating the cheese sandwich, which I absolutely hate because it drips down him. Other than the new head, it's exactly the same. He doesn't come with a cane. I've added that just to make sure I've added the cane, because he does in fact walk with a cane. But unfortunately they don't provide one with the set, which is a real shame, because this is not an accurate cane to Richard Hurdnall's Doctor. So that is a massive shame to see, but I love this figure nonetheless. That's all I really have to say on this one. It's just a new sculpted, and they have tried to paint on the fingerless gloves on his hand. Whilst they look great, I would have loved them to actually try the fingerless gloves and have a pattern on it, you know, like the knitting. But I suppose you can only go so far with moulding Doctor Who figures. So this is an acceptable representation of Richard Hurdnall's Doctor. And I mean, it looks fantastic on the shelf. It looks exactly like how Richard Hurdnall did in the episode. So, without much more to say about Richard Hurdnall's Doctor, I think we'll move on to the new Dalek. Ah, the new Dalek. Where do I start with this? It's an absolute shame that it isn't in sort of a decrepit state as it was in the episode, so it doesn't look entirely accurate. It's missing its oval. But you know what? It's not a bad representation, and you can see on here they've somehow managed to get some white paint on it. But I think it adds, and it's also on the balls as well, or the hemispheres down there. Now, I don't know how they've done that, because that's white paint, or is it silver? No, it is white paint. I don't know how they've managed to do that. How do you get white paint on a Dalek? Not that I mind, though, because it gives it a little bit of a battered, slightly look. It is just a shame that what could be a near-perfect Dalek is just ruined with those tiny little spots, and I suppose I could get rid of it somehow. I'll have to look it up, but yeah, to be honest, I don't think I might bother, because it gives it a little bit of a, you know, like it's been in the wars a little bit. I mean, it's not all over the body, so if it was, you know, I might be a bit more enthusiastic about it, but no, it's not for some reason. So if you're gonna, I presume it must have come from the eye, which is a white pupil, or you know, not a pupil, but the iris. Sorry. So because we all know the Daleks and things like that, what have they changed about this Dalek? Because I'm not going to go into any articulation and things like that. They're all the standard same articulation for all of these figures. You know, 3 wheels, head spins, eye moves up and down, and ball-jointed plunger and gun. What's new about this Dalek? Well, I believe the meshing is the new version, because this looks suspiciously like new meshing. This, you know, and I presume it's the new version that they created some time ago. So that's certainly a difference. I don't know if it's a difference from any other Daleks, but it's a difference probably from its original Resurrection counterpart, which is not really a counterpart, but you get my meaning. I think the biggest change on this is the dome lights right there. Now they have gone to the trouble of getting some new dome lights on there. They didn't really have to, because they could have just painted some normal ones, but I think it's nice to see that they actually went through the trouble of getting some new dome lights for it. The eye, I believe, is a regular one. It looks exactly the same, doesn't look new. Looks like the old version we're all used to, and I believe it's incorrect. I'm not too sure if it is. I might have to go back and see the episode, but as far as I'm aware, that is wrong and should not be like that. I think the colours are right, but the moulding of it is wrong. It's nice to see they kept the silver on the plunger, and they've even gone to the trouble of painting, if I'm not battering it all over the place. They've even gone to the trouble of painting the orange petals at the end. Now, the actual Dalek doesn't have any petals on it or in it, and it would have been nice to see that. But even just that is nice. It adds attention to detail, and I think that's an important thing. But otherwise, it's a standard Dalek, and unfortunately, no paint rubs on the base with silver, because they usually have that. So that is a real shame. But another thing they have added is this neck riser right here, which makes it a lot more accurate to its on-TV screen counterpart. And it's nice to see that they went through that trouble. But there are some disappointing things about it. Now, as disappointing as they are, it's still a fantastic representation of the Dalek in figure form. And I have it on my shelf. I moved a lot of my Tom Baker stuff off that shelf just so I could have this on, and the First Doctor. And I moved some more stuff off today so I could have the Sixth Doctor's TARDIS on there, the new one. And I will be doing a review of that next time. And yes, I do mean that. And then I will go on to the Bradley box, and I'll go on to the next wave as well. But, and also the Necros Daleks. But it's a fantastic representation of the Dalek, I think, at least. It's nice to see, and yeah, I think it looks very nice on the shelf with my other figures. So, yeah, I think they've not done too bad a job. It's not near perfect, but it's decent. And I probably wouldn't say the same about Richard Hurdnall either. It's not perfect, but it is rather decent, and it makes for a decent Doctor Who collector's item. If you're looking to get one of these in store, oh my word, especially in this heat, I walked around for 2 days trying to find these, and so I went to Trafford Retail Park first to find this. None at all. And they said that someone had come in, taken them all, and basically scarpered. I then went to Swinton, and they said exactly the same thing. I then made my way all the way out to Bolton, and they didn't have any on the shelf, and I asked, have you got any in the stockroom, perchance? And they said, oh, we'll take a look. And they dragged, I think, 1 or 2 boxes out, and I said, we've got these. And I said, yes, okay, this one, I'll get. Done. There it was. No issues at all. And I asked if they had the TARDIS as well, and they said, yes, but you might have to come back tomorrow to collect it. So I went back today, which would have been yesterday by now, collected the TARDIS box, and basically scarpered because I didn't want to hang around for someone to try and nick it. Although they had actually reserved it quite literally for me. They put my name on it and everything. They rang me up when it was in store or when they dragged it out the box. So, fantastic. I have to applaud the people at the Bolton B&M, because the ones that I went to, the Trafford and the Swinton one, were absolutely useless. Because they were basically saying, yeah, we don't care, scalpers are going to do what they do. And I was like, but you're the ones that can stop it. I don't want to go into a whole discussion about the scalpers and stuff like that, because it's just not great at the time for something like that. But yeah, we really need to do something about them. But otherwise, fantastic set, and I do highly recommend it if you can actually find it. If you can, good hunting, well done. Good job. If I can get my hand in frame. I can't speak today, can I? Frame. If I can get my hand in frame, good job. There you go. Well done. If not, sorry, I don't know what to suggest. Maybe better luck next time. Because I definitely would not suggest going to eBay to find these, because they will be ridiculous prices. Just saying.